Welcome back to Chem Sleeping Lab, episode 13. For 12 episodes, we talked about hazards, fire, toxicity, ventilation, dust, and static. Tonight, we will talk about how to put all of that together in a tiny corner at home. If you like to do simple experiments or just store small amounts of cleaning or hobby chemicals safely. This episode is not about building a big lab. It is about making a small corner calm, organized, and safe. First, mindset. At home, we do not need a lot. Safety at home is about small amounts, good habits, and respecting that home is not a factory. What you do need a clear purpose. For example, I want to do simple pH tests with vinegar and baking soda. Or I want to store household cleaners safely. Or I want to do low-risk hobby chemistry for learning. Then you do a tiny risk assessment, just like what we talked in episode 1. What is the hazard? How much exposure could there be? And how to control. For home, control means 3 things. Small amount, good ventilation, and storage by compatibility. Away from people who should not touch it, like children and pets. And check local rules. In some places, certain chemicals cannot be stored at home or need special disposal. Always follow local law. If you're not sure, keep it simple and keep amounts tiny. Now, where to put your corner? Think about ventilation first. Near a window that can open, or near a door to outside. Not in a tiny closed closet without airflow. If you work with anything that makes vapor, even it's just vinegar and alcohol, you want fresh air to dilute it. A small fan that blows air out of the window could help, but it is not a fume hood. It does not capture at source. So keep amount very small and time short. Away from where you sleep, eat, and cook. Not Not in the bedroom, not next to the stove, not where food is prepared. A corner in garage, utility room, or a well-ventilated spare room is always better than kitchen counter. Stable bench. A sturdy table. Level, not wobbly. Non-porous surface that can be cleaned, like plastic laminate or a large plastic tray. Not wood that absorbs chemicals. Keep the bench uncluttered. Only what you're using now on the bench. Everything else stored away. Light. Good light so you can read labels. Away from ignition sources. Away from open flame, heaters, electrical panels, no smoking nearby. Keep an empty space around the bench so you can move quickly if something spills. Do not block your exit. How to store. Small amounts. Buy small bottles, not large. A 100 milliliter bottle of something is much easier to control than a 5-liter bottle. Smaller amount means smaller risk. Compatibility, like what we mentioned in episode 9, even at home, store by groups. Secondary containment. Put bottles inside a plastic tray or plastic box with a lid. If a bottle leaks, liquid stays in tray, not spreading to other groups. Original labels. Keep original label on the bottle. If you transfer to a smaller bottle, label the new bottle with name, concentration, date, and hazard pictogram if you know it. Never use food or drink bottles to store chemicals. Never, because someone may accidentally drink it. Temperature. Cool, dry, not in direct sunlight. Heat makes pressure build up and makes flammables more volatile. Inventory. A small notebook or even a phone note. What you have, how much, where, when you bought or opened, once a year, check. and dispose of old or unneeded chemicals properly. Do not down the drain unless local rules says it is okay. Now, what safety equipment for a tiny home corner? 1. Eye protection. Chemical splash goggles that seal around eyes. 2. Gloves. A box of disposable gloves your size. Check for holes before use and change often. 3. Spill control. A small spill kit. Paper towels. Absorbent cat litter. A small dustpan and brush. A plastic bag for waste. Always ventilate. 4. Fire control. A small ABC dry powder fire extinguisher nearby, or at least know where your home extinguisher is, and know that for small flammable liquid fire on a bench, smothering with a metal lid is often safer than water. Do not use water on oil or flammable solvent fire. 5. First aid and washing. Know where the nearest sink with running water is. 6. Waste. Have separate waste containers, labeled closed. For home, often you will have aqueous non-hazardous waste and hazardous waste that must go to local hazardous waste collection day. Never mix different waste types into one bottle to save space. And habits, the most important. No food, no drink, no smoking in your corner, ever. Label everything, even water if it's in the lead beaker. Read label before opening. 1 minute check from episode 10. What is it? How can it get into me? How to control? What if wrong? Where does it go after? Clean up after each session. Bench empty. Bottles back to storage. Hands washed, even if you wore gloves. And keep a simple lab notebook. What you did, how much, what happened. That helps you learn and helps you track. Let us review tonight tiny home corner needs small amount, not large. Where ventilated, away from sleep and food, away from ignition, locked from children and pets. How to store small bottles by compatibility groups, original labels, cool and dry with inventory. Habits: no food or drink, label everything, 1 minute check, clean up and wash hands after. You do not need a fancy lab to be safe. You need calm habits. That is all for episode 13.